For today's headlines, Virology and Vaccine Institute bill pushed. Mandatory vax for minors rests on Duque. Average jabs against COVID-19 now at 600,000. Joint ventures should follow 60-40 equity rule. Bong Go assures efforts providing Filipinos comfortable life. Baguio students plead citywide academic break. Man arrested after knife fire attack on Tokyo train. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is November 1, 2021, and these are the latest news this Monday morning. The Department of Science and Technology on Sunday urged the Senate to act on the bill creating the Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines. DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña said that the Department of Budget and Management has already earmarked funds for the budget of the agency. He added that the agency has already allotted some 284 million pesos for virology research and development, which will boost the country's preparedness for another health crisis in the future. The projects will be turned over to the Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines once it becomes operational. Last July, the House of Representatives unanimously approved the third and final reading of the House Bill 9559, or Virology and Vaccine Institute of the Philippines Act. This was after President Rodrigo Duterte called on Congress to immediately pass the law, which will institutionalize and build the Virology and Vaccine Institute facilities in New Clark City and Tarlac. Earlier this week, the DOST inaugurated Biosafety Level 2 laboratory, which will be providing a place for the country's researchers to study on different virology projects while waiting for the passage of the bill. It would take only a circular from Health Secretary Francisco Duque III to make vaccination of minors against the coronavirus mandatory, Senator Francis Tolentino said on Sunday. Citing Republic Act 10152, or the Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunization Act of 2011, Tolentino said Duque has the authority to order the basic immunization of infants and children against COVID-19 by listing it as one of the vaccine-preventable diseases through a department circular. Other diseases covered under RA 10152 are tuberculosis, diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis, measles, and mumps. The mandatory basic immunization against these diseases shall be given for free at any government hospital or health center to infants and children up to 5 years old. While it supports the program, the Department of Health earlier said that vaccination for minors remains voluntary and requires consent from a child's parents or guardian. The Health Department added that they will only receive jabs that have been given emergency use authority by the Philippine Food and Drug Administration for the pediatric population, including Pfizer and Moderna. Immunizing children is one of the key steps for the Philippines to resume its face-to-face classes after it remained as one of the few countries to have kept them shut since the onset of the pandemic. Several local government units have started inoculating minors with comorbidities, including Metro Manila, Cagayan de Oro, Bacolod City, Cebu City, and Angeles City in Pampanga. After a meeting with the LGUs, the average jabs against COVID-19 per day is at 600,000, but the highest recorded number so far is 724,000 per day, according to the Department of Interior and Local Government Secretary Eduardo Año.
Ngayon ay we have enough supply. No? Tama yung sinabi nyo, 100 million na yung ating natanggap. At maganda rin naman, may mga milestone tayo. Dahil as of kahapon, ang first dose natin ay nasa 31,896,429. Ang fully vaccinated natin ay 27,293,400. So mga milestone yan, no? At yung lahat ng AstraZeneca na supposed to be ay mag-expire ng October 29 na iturok natin lahat yan. So ibig sabihin, bumilis na ngayon ay we have enough supply.
He said 85% of Metro Manila's population have been vaccinated, and in our provinces, the vaccinated population ranges from 20% to 35%. We have enough supply. However, previously, it was admitted that there was a problem in the logistics of vaccine supply. To know the solutions made by the government, here is Secretary Anyo's response.
Yes, nabigyan natin ng solusyon yun. Unang-una, no? Inutusan natin yung mga LGUs na mag-prepare ng mga tinatawag natin storage facilities. So yung mga bakuna katulad ng mga Sinovac na hindi masyado kailangan ng malamig, ito yung dinadala natin sa mga countrysides. Yung mga kailangan ng matataas or I mean mas kailangan malalamig ng mga storage facilities na katulad ng mga Pfizer at Moderna. So ang kailangan sa kanila ay dito sa mga key cities naman. No, na kasi mas madali at mas maraming storage facilities diyan. Tapos yung ating Philippine National Police, Armed Forces of the Philippines, ang ating Bureau of Fire Protection, sila naman ang katulong ng LGUs sa paghahatid ng mga bakuna papuntang vaccination sites. So, at siyempre kailangan para mas mabilis, dadagdagan dapat natin yung mga vaccination sites.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, The Daily Tribune Special Coverage.
Magandang araw mga katribu! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelevelo, Comfy Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube. Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, The Daily Tribune Special Coverage.
Of the 1987 Constitution states that the Philippines may enter into co-production, joint venture, or production sharing agreements with Filipino citizens or corporations or associations, at least 60% of whose capital is owned by such citizens. Lacson cited information indicating the WPS is rich in natural gas and oil that could help address the country's energy needs. He added that China has sent geologists to the area as far back as 1968, but should China refuse to follow the constitutional provision, the senator said the Philippines may turn to its allies and seek a balance of power, noting that the country's military capacity falls short to China. Senator Christopher Bong Go assured Filipinos he will continue to support and further pursue initiatives aimed at creating a more comfortable life for all Filipinos. Senator Go issued the statement as he attended the inauguration of 7 seaport projects in Bohol Province on Friday, October 29. President Rodrigo Duterte led the ceremony, along with Department of Transportation Secretary Arturo Gade and Philippine Ports Authority General Manager J. Daniel Santiago, together with other national and local government officials. The seaport developments in Hagna, Loon, Maribohok, Tagbilaran, Talibon, Tapal, and Ubay are projects intended to improve vessel circulation and reduce traffic congestion at current berths, resulting in increased trip frequency. The ports are part of the 472 seaport development projects accomplished by the DOTR and the PPA under the Duterte administration. They are part of the larger Build, Build, Build program, which covers hundreds of infrastructure projects that are being implemented throughout the country. The projects are intended to relieve poverty, strengthen the economy, and alleviate traffic congestion in the country. The senator, who filed his certificate of candidacy for vice president in the 2022 elections, has vowed to continue the legacy programs initiated by the current administration, including the Build, Build, Build program. Baguio City College students, through their respective student governments, pleaded to the local government here to approve their proposal for a citywide academic break in order to give the students space to breathe and rejuvenate. In a letter sent to Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Maggalong, Baguio Representative Bong Go, and Sangguniang Kabataan Federation President Lloyd Orcales, the student councils of St. Louis University, University of the Cordillera, University of Baguio, and the National Union of Students in the Philippines stress that students are already affected by the ongoing COVID-19 crisis and the recent calamities. They added that the students' mental health suffers as they struggle with their academic requirements. Students' mental health is affected when they study for long periods without taking breaks and will compromise their works, the students stressed, adding that during the after onslaught of Typhoon Maring, students and faculty members were pressured to pursue academic workloads even though many are still recovering from the storm. The students noted that because of the workload and stress of the students, there are an increasing number of suicidal rates, and while there are already 2 cases being investigated, the incidents are alarming to the educational institutions and the community. They also complained that there are academic workloads given out on Sundays. The students said that Sunday is the only day where students and teachers can rest and have quality times with their families and themselves. According to the students, some academic institutions have already adopted academic breaks for their students. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Ngayong Lunes sa The Athletes Tribune Season 2. Be ready to be inspired and empowered.
It actually just showcases how resilient, how strong, how empowering these women are. Because seeing that story, it inspires many of us, Filipinas, that we too can be there.
Makisabay sa fun and exciting na kwentuhan.
So Pauline, are you still available?
Abangan at panoorin ng 2-time Southeast Asian Games gold medalist, 2016 Asian Taekwondo Championship gold medalist at 2013 Asian Youth Games gold medalist, Pauline Lopez. Samahan nyo kami ngayong November 1 na, Monday at 7 p.m. Dito lang sa mas pinasayang The Athletes Tribune Season 2.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. For our world news, a man was arrested for attempted murder after a knife and fire attack on a train in Tokyo on Sunday, Japanese media said, with at least 17 people reportedly injured and 1 in a serious condition after being stabbed. Eyewitnesses told national broadcaster NHK of their fear during the attack that took place on Halloween when the Japanese capital is full of revelers, many in costume. Media outlets said the alleged perpetrator in his 20s, wearing a green shirt and indigo suit, attacked people with a knife and started a fire on the train. A video clip published by NHK showed panicked passengers running down the train as smoke filled the carriage, with flames also visible. Another video posted on Twitter showed people climbing through windows to escape the KO Line train at a station. The attacker carried out the act without showing any emotion, a female passenger said. Local police officials could not immediately be reached for comment. Regional police said they had no information for immediate release. Dozens of firefighters and police officers were seen working outside the station. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, Mary Kay, Arta Center, Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista on Tribune News on Q, reminding you that we only have 54 days until Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.